Well, it was another huge disappointment. I have to say the Spanish team were absolutely superb. They just were a young, great team. They were 8-1 against before the tournament began because they were mostly unknowns. They were deserved winners. But, you know, we've had 8 years of Gareth Southgate, and he's taken us to 2 European Cup finals. He's taken us to a World Cup semi-final. And I was thinking, frankly, you've got to go back to Bobby Robson in 1990 to think of an England manager that did anything. We had, 25 years of absolute blooming, not quite 25, but getting on that way, of absolute misery with England's football. And yet, Southgate's style might be a bit dull for some at times. I found it ridiculous that we went on taking a knee long after others did. But you know what? He produced a football team without prima donnas. Yeah. The yobby element was completely gone. Suddenly, if I felt football, national football, was quite wholesome and quite decent. He's gone. He's had 102 matches in charge, Kwasi. I mean, the guy's done a great job, hasn't he?
I think he did a good job, and I'm of the age where I remember Italia 90.
Yeah.
And that was the semi-final, and we really had a huge momentum.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was still at school, and we watched, there was one of the few things we were allowed to watch, I think. But now, I think Southgate has done his job. He's
right time to go?
Yeah, I think so. I think to be a great leader, you have to know when it's time to go. And I think he feels he's taken us so far, and he's done his bit, and now he's moving on to fresh pastures.
Too. Matthew, your view on Southgate, the 8 years?
I would say, I'd go further and say he made me feel proud to be British. I was
English?
Well.
I mean, don't get the Scots aren't in this one.
No, they might have something to say. No, I think I was never very patriotic. I err on the side of republicanism, probably, but during the final 2 years ago, I stood up and sang "God Save the Queen" because I thought, as a leader, he showed courage and would take the flak.
That's very interesting.
He would take the flak from the players who would normally get it. He stood up and spoke what he thought. He was sensible. He took his time with things, and at a time where I felt there was a real vacuum of leadership during the COVID and whatever else, he filled that.
So that for you, that's sport fulfilling quite an important national good.
Yeah, I mean, I've always been a football fan. I had a small career in football before politics, and he for me, he's turned things around for me and made me proud to be
Nick
English.
nodding away there.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's been excellent. I agree. Other than Bobby Robson, we had a little hope early under Sven-Göran Eriksson, who was all conked out. Yeah. He's brought a calmness, a dignity to it. The football's been good. Okay, it wasn't quite right in this tournament. I'm sorry he's gone. I'd have liked to see him do 2 more years and try for the World Cup. But there's a great crop of players there. Someone else can come in and try and make it all click and work. But I think he was beginning to help us carve an English identity.
Exactly Matthew's point.
In a positive way, in a way that wasn't sort of yobbishness and far-right stuff. He was just dignified.
But I thought his strength, if I may say so, was the fact that at the beginning of the tournament, we had performed badly, and he got a hell of a lot of abuse. He got loads of abuse.
And yet he went and fronted the fans up.
He did.
That took some real courage.
That's right. Yeah. He was calm. He was polite. He was very much self-composed. And that's what I think you're talking about. I mean, he was a leader.
I think he's a profoundly decent man.
Yes, absolutely.
I think he's done a great job. Whether he gets a knighthood or not, I don't know. I suspect he probably will. Quick thoughts, successor, any ideas?
I have no real view on that.
It'd be Graham Potter's to lose.
Oh, no.
I know, I can't say it.
Here we go. Disagreement is breaking out.
Contact to the FA. I don't want him. I don't want him. A contact to the FA said it'd be him or Eddie Howe, but Eddie Howe won't leave Newcastle.
I thought Eddie Howe was the odds on.
I think
politicians can put bets on.
You can put bets on, but not with inside information. I think that. How much do you think that hurt the Conservatives?
I think it was. I mean, there were 3 incidents. There was the rain, announcement, which was a disaster. There was D-Day, which I think was profoundly weakening, and then of course the election. There's 3 things. I think D-Day was probably worse.
Oh yeah.
But the election betting was bad, and it was later in the campaign.
The little joke I was making was, I say to the audience, "You've heard of the film The Longest Day?" Oh, they've redone it with Rishi as the star. It's called The Shortest Day because he went over at lunchtime.